Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right. In honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, I'm guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through the series, experiencing his reactions, watching it for the first time, and reliving my summer memories throughout the years. Today's episode is the first episode of the second season, The Lake Nose Monster. We had Phineas and Ferb are making a second season. So and obviously, as mentioned, this is the beginning of a new season for the boys. So not the show The Boys, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's this whole thing where they're actually trying to kill Candace, but it's going to take them a long. It's going to take them a long time to do so.
Yeah, that's the gritty reboot territory.
Yeah.
So before I get into some background this time, how you coming down on this, Dragon? Listen.
I think it was a solid opener for the season. It's a fun monster story. It was made quite the splash, one could say.
Yeah. I think it helps that, as far as the actual monster, I think it helps that it has it definitely has an appealing design and personality, despite not saying a word.
Yeah.
There's actually some brief background I can go over for this one.
Well, do it then.
All right. If you know, this episode actually debuts quite a few firsts. Starting with this episode, Robert F. Hughes became a regular director for this series after having worked in some background in the show. Martin Olson is no longer the story editor the story editor. His role was taken over by writer Scott Peterson. Martin Olson did remain on the series as one of the staff writers, however. Another difference you might have noticed: the animation is slightly more, slightly better. The animation quality has improved. In addition to the outlines and their noses being slightly just darker colors of their skin than just being black outlines. So there's quite a bit of changes coming into this episode. And of course, LEB is also said, "Can't wait for Carl to get fired." Well, we'll get to that, won't we, Dragon?
Yep.
All right, so that's pretty much all. And of course, we have a very interesting guest star in here with John Larroquette of Night Court fame.
Yeah, the great John Larroquette.
And I'm sure you've mentioned Night Court before, right, Dragon?
Yeah, honestly, when I go to John Larroquette, I'm mostly going to, Boston Legal. But yeah, of course, Night Court's the whole reason he ends up on Boston Legal. So it's come up, briefly. But yeah.
Well, yep, he guest stars as Captain Weber. Okay.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know that was Larroquette. I was wondering, I'm really looking for a background on Captain Weber, if you have any, besides the John Larroquette thing.
Well, I don't know. There's really no background on him.
Really, that's a very specific kind of character. That didn't come from anyone. You don't know if that came from any real life experiences for Dan and Swampy.
Well, as far as I can tell, there's nothing in here. Technically, he does appear in a future episode where where he marries a character named after one of Dan's sisters. So there's that. But other than that, there's no specific background for Captain Weber.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I'm not familiar with Larroquette myself outside of hearing his name through, when I mentioned it to some other people, that they mentioned that he was in Night Court.
Larroquette's been making a bit of a comeback because of the Night Court revival, and I can't remember. Here's the thing: Larroquette. There's this. I could have sworn Larroquette was in the new Shazam movie, but then again, there's this news anchor in real life who looks a lot like John Larroquette. So I don't know if that was Larroquette playing a parody of that news anchor. They actually got that news anchor for Shazam 2. So I'm unsure.
No idea. But either way, you want to get into the episode or anything else you want to go
No,
over?
let's do it. Let's get into the episode.
Okay. So it's like, so the boys, the entire Flynn-Fletcher family is on their way to the scenic Lake Nose.
I love the design of Lake Nose and how it's built into the logos and everything. We have basically this giant nose-shaped rock that overlooks the lake.
It's a nice justification for the name.
Now, you know what it reminds me of?
What is it?
Reminds me of another, Dan Povenmire connection. Reminds me of one of my favorite episodes, Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
It's the I believe it's I forget if it's called Born to Be Weird or if it's Road Weenies. I think it's Born to Be Weird. I have to check because I don't know because there's like we have that line in the episode. That's why I think it might be Born to Be Weird. No, regardless, Rocko and Heifer are going on a road trip to see Flem Rock before it's destroyed. So Flem Rock is it's basically it's a waterfall in the shape of a nose that kind of like it shoots out out of the nostrils. It shoots out water, which is kind of phlegmy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, literally, if you looked at it, given it's a rock-like structure, it's very similar to.
Well, I'm not finding any episode called Born to Be Weird.
Well, that's the thing. It's not Born to Be Weird. I don't know. It's been a while since I've gone to it, but it might be. It has to be Road Weenies. It might be. Do you see anything with like weenies in it?
There's Road Rash.
Road Rash. That's it. Here's the thing. I say the Road Weenies thing is because there's a plot point in the episode where Rocko and Heifer their sidecar motorcycle breaks down for hilarious reasons. Heifer basically kind of incidentally he does those like roadside places where you have like if you eat like the steak and however whatever time limit you get a prize sort of thing, or you beat the record, like kind of a food challenge of some kind.
Right.
It wasn't a steak, but essentially it was called the Knockwurst Nightmare Platter, and it's I don't want to get into the gruesome details as to what it is. The point being, he eats it, and they are awarded with this giant Oscar Mayer weenie mobile. so that's why I keep thinking about road. I keep thinking it's called Road Weenies, but essentially it's because it's a giant weenie, Rocko.
And I'm looking it up on the Rocko wiki, and it turns out Dan and Swampy were both involved in that episode.
Ah, there you go. They pulled it from there, Jacob.
But that's the episode with the famous no-tell motel.
Yeah, that's a whole I
didn't know that. So that's another strange connection.
Yeah, there are a lot of double entendre puns in that episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So it's a great episode. So again, it has like Flem Rock. It was very much on my mind when I saw Lake Nose and kind of a nice symbol. I'm like, I know I've seen this before, like Povenmire.
All this is reminding me is that I need to watch Rocko. Like, I've only seen like the first few episodes.
I love Rocko's Modern Life. Watch it.
And also Static Cling. I've also seen Static Cling.
That's what I'm saying. You've seen Static Cling. Watch the original.
I mean, I've seen like the first few episodes, so I probably should watch it.
Yeah.
All right. So as of course, it's like heading to the scenic Lake Nose. Like, fisherman's pet of all the lakes in the world, I'm glad we picked the nose.
That joke.
Yes.
All right, so Candace. Candace is going to be a lifeguard with Jeremy.
Yes.
Yes, and they're working. They're being supervised by Captain Bob Weber.
Okay.
Yes, the okay. That just feels so specific. That's got to be they have like a lifeguard, or like a camp counselor or something who did that. Okay.
I mean, it's entirely possible, but like I said, they don't really divulge a lot of the stuff. Like, and then again, Dan and Swampy have said that basically a lot of the stuff that went into it was stuff that amused them at the time they made it.
Now if they had to recast John Larroquette, I mean, God forbid, but if they recast John Larroquette, who'd have to play this role, don't you?
No, who do you have in mind?
Pepe.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Oh God.
Stop getting the beach yours, okay?
Unfortunately, I don't think Bill Beretta ever guest stars in this show.
That's a missed opportunity.
I mean, I know the time that there was a time where one of the guys that voices Kermit, well, the current voice of Kermit guest starred in Amphibia.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, we they end up being lifeguards and everything, and they again we have well yeah they're gonna take turns saving each other.
Yeah, that's just the Candace's fantasy of being safe.
God, it's a little out of context how that sounds. We're just gonna save each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, Jeremy seemed a little into it.
well, he does. He does.
Yeah.
We have there's a lot of Jaws nods in this episode, which I really did appreciate, especially after the week I've had. I appreciate the Jaws nods.
I'm glad this is able to lift your spirits a little bit.
Well,
I'm
yes
sorry.
and no. I mean,
I'm sorry.
let me put it this way: this happened right before I watched this episode right before all the bad stuff happened. So didn't technically lift my spirits, but in the moment it was nice and serendipitously something that may have lifted the spirits had I watched it afterwards. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, Dragon.
Anyway,
and there are also quite a few surprising references in this episode. There's even a Citizen Kane reference in this episode.
yeah,
Kind of a weird one, but nonetheless.
it was random as all get out. But who are we? Who amongst us are to turn down a Citizen Kane reference when they come about?
Yeah, I mean, it was a sled. There, I saved you 2 boobless hours.
All right. So
I just remember that every time that comes up on Family Guy.
Yep. Yeah, you saw that Charles Schultz documentary, didn't you?
No.
Well, all right, you never got to the PBS one yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, they use Citizen Kane as a framing device. It's really good.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Anyway,
like what do they compare to Xanadu?
Okay. Well, so when I say frame device, I guess I mean it opens on Citizen Kane in relation to how it impacted Charles M. Schultz. So I mean, it's in there, and it's kind of looming over the rest of it. But it starts really strong in kind of relating the man to Citizen Kane. One Charles to another.
Okay.
Apparently, Charles Schultz was obsessed with Citizen Kane.
Good old Charles Foster Kane.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So let's see.
Meanwhile, the boys are fascinated with the local legend associated with the lake.
Nosy the lake monster.
Exactly. Of course, there's a big, obviously mirroring the real life Loch Ness monster, and does the monster actually exist, or is it just driftwood? Is it rubber tires, or something that Phineas and Ferb aren't even old enough to know what it is?
Yeah, that was a shocking joke. I gotta be honest. Wow, that's.
I mean, it's only honestly, I think it might only be shocking if our mind goes to the gutter. In which case, a lot of times it does.
What else? I mean, are they not old enough for though? That's the thing.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's most likely that.
I mean,
yeah. Considering she's older than them, she's 15 years old. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, considering that it's something that has to look like the lake nose monster, it's
yeah.
Anyway.
As I said, the show just does get away with some bit raunchy humor.
It does. Again, it makes you. No wonder she's thinking about saving Jeremy. All right, she's got it on the brain. So, yeah. Let's see. So the point being, the boys, intend on essentially, as Candace does explicitly tell them, I don't want you boys to humiliate me by building a boat and seeking and looking for the lake monster.
And then they do that. It's like, did I tell you not specifically not to do that? It's like, no, you said not to humiliate you by doing it.
Okay, now Okay, here's Phineas is doing that on purpose. There's no way that is like an incidental. Oh shucks, earnest, oh no, boys, I just found a loophole. Come on. That's Phineas. Screw you to Candace. Let's be honest.
I mean, I don't think it's a screw you, to be
It's a
honest.
little bit. Come on, it's a little.
But he is using the power of exact words.
That's true. It's gonna grow up to be a lawyer. And we're gonna podcast with him.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So basically, in turn, it actually brings up early that the lake is unusually full of zinc.
Yes, all the zinc facts.
Yeah, and the fact that it's even moisture and that their sunscreen is loaded with zinc.
All that in the kitchen zinc.
All that in the kitchen zinc, yes. Meanwhile, Lawrence is obviously convinced to go and with the boys and go on their fishing trips.
Well, Jacob, let's not glaze past the gloss past the really great gay we opened season 2 with. Linda finds out.
Yeah,
but she's okay with it because I mean it's like, oh, they built a boat. Yeah, it's waterproof and everything. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah, they built a boat.
Yeah, they built the boat, and then they're all fine. And we see she sends Lawrence with them, who's eager to fish always, apparently.
Yep. Such beauty, tranquility, a fisherman's paradise, as he mentioned earlier.
Yep.
It's like, well, Candace, there's no such thing as a lot of things, and there's such thing as many other things. There's no such a thing. Well, you see, that's the thing, isn't it? Lawrence is just delightful.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, so after each one, he finishes some kind of odd stuff. First off, the boy, Perry actually goes away. And okay, go on.
So, Perry, he does his typical thing, and he gets briefed on his mission in the most dazzling way possible.
It's like, log in.
He's got to log in for the mission. We ain't talking about a computer, kids. He has to go into a log. Log leads him through like a little almost Small World-esque kind of ride.
You're gonna get a mission.
So we thought lair entrance the ride.
Coming soon to Disneyland.
Yep.
So yeah, basically
they need ride ideas desperately right now. So I think we should Jacob, throw up the icon, throw up the crawl for the creators.
Yeah, the message to Dan and Swampy.
Dan, Swampy, guys, don't sleep on this opportunity right now. Disney, they're desperate. They're on their heels. Okay, they need ideas, especially for theme parks right now. And you know what? I think you're about to make your big comeback. You're getting ready for it. I know you're in the trenches with it right now, and there's a lot of brewing in the world right now. But you know what? Think positive, okay? Think successful. Think we're gonna make lair entrance the ride, the ultimate Perry the Platypus experience, and we're gonna drum up support, and we're gonna show James Cameron how it's done. So do it, gentlemen. You can do this. I believe in you. I know we've had our stumbling blocks before when we've reached this part of the show, but I believe in you. You can do it. Swampy, don't look at me like that. You can do it.
You know the funny thing is, in Epcot, that World Showcase attraction that they have that is now DuckTales. It actually used to be Perry. It used to be Perry themed.
Yeah.
So they used to have some representation there.
Gentlemen, this is your comeback.
Honestly, it would be pretty cool to see them on a ride.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it'd probably be the roller coaster, but who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, so we learned the genesis of this ride.
So basically, there are two options because they asked a bunch of 5-year-olds what would be better, a piece of paper with money with numbers on it, or a big attraction.
I love how ticked off Perry is, or he could have got a huge bonus, and instead got a kind of a cheesy little log ride.
I mean, you can even tell during the entrance he's just like, "Get me out of this thing."
Yep. Now, Jacob.
Yeah.
we should talk about who ushers Perry off the ride at the end.
Dang it, Carl.
Dang it, Carl! Carl, this is supposed to be a magical experience, and you know what? You just wrecked it. You just wrecked the magic. Okay, Carl, you're done. You're through. You're out of here. No, I'm kidding. No, in reality, though, Carl had ticked off monograms so much he was demoted to ride attendant. Because, you know what, Carl? I've just had it. Carl, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm put you in lederhosen, and you're gonna run the layer entrance to the ride. You're gonna be unpaid. You're the unpaid intern. You're not gonna get paid for this. You're gonna do it.
Code Gias says he deserves a pay cut, which is already pretty bad considering he's not being paid in the first place.
Exactly. You know how bad this pay cut is, Jacob?
It'll take money away from him instead of giving him money.
Oh, thanks. I was gonna dress it up a little bit. Yes, Jacob.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, so bad, Carl has to pay monogram.
He's losing money on this venture.
Exactly.
It's like Carl.
Yep.
There's no more demeaning job. Anyway.
All right.
Okay. So we learn what Doofenshmirtz is up to, but for whatever reason, we don't know why yet.
Well, we know whatever he's doing, he's not doing it on an empty stomach, and we still have to crawl up.
Yep. Basically, he's trying to order hot wings to the bottom of a lake. I'm sorry, sir, we did not deliver our hot wings to the bottom of a lake. Out to 50%! I mean, you'd have to have a pretty good delivery service to deliver to the bottom of a lake.
Yeah.
Does Uber Eats or DoorDash, Grubhub do that? I don't think so.
Well, they did, and it ended terribly.
Wait, what?
Sorry, it's a joke made in very poor taste, but
Okay.
The Titanic, the rich people Titanic experience thing. The whole.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, I know. Regardless.
Yeah.
Yes, so Doofenshmirtz, he's hungry, he's in need of wings. Perry the Platypus goes there to foil him, but he didn't come empty-handed.
He's like first off, what did you think of the fact that his doorbell?
I love
Doofenshmirtz's doorbell's the fact that it's that it's his jingle, but in bell form.
Yeah. Just love that so much.
Yep, it is. We don't actually hear the jingle, but we do hear that.
Yeah,
which is nice. But he frets thinking that it was the wing delivery guy, but nope, he has the wing. Perry has the wings.
I just love the timing on this bit so much. This is like classic prime Doofenshmirtz we're opening the season up on. Here's the idea that Doofenshmirtz, he's going to pay Perry. He's a man of his word. He's doing the 15%. He paid for the wings, and then he's like, okay, let me look here. I love that it takes some time to fish out the rest of the cash. I love it.
Like paying with change, even.
Yeah. Well, did he pay? I thought he just paid. He saw it more cash. Did he fish out change?
I believe so. Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. He counted out like 4 quarters, I think.
Oh, you're right. Okay. I thought he was counting out the money, but okay, I guess you're right.
Like he did bill. He did bills, but then like gave him like the quarters for the money for the extra $1.
Okay. Anyway.
And there's something extra too.
Your tip, and he puts him in like a giant little diver helmet trap.
Pretty good, huh?
So I love this. While he's doing the evil plan, he being a gracious host, again, a little Bond-esque back in the day, where like you sit Bond down to like the table for the meal before you kill him, sort of thing. We're like, oh yeah, these wings are really good. You should try some. Here, have some. Get some blue cheese. I don't like the blue cheese. Get the blue cheese, and I like ranch better.
I would Doofenshmirtz from now on. When I eat wings, I usually go with ranch.
Yeah, I hate the smell of blue cheese.
Yeah, I ate blue cheese a couple times when I went out and I had it on a steak, but I kind of grew out of it.
My favorite is when he gives him the napkin.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have wet wipes with hot wings.
Yeah.
It's proper wing etiquette, apparently.
I just imagine this. Imagine like a celebrity version of like an animated celebrity version of Hot Ones. Just with Doofenshmirtz and Perry the Platypus.
I would love to see something we see that like show up and do hot ones.
Just Doofenshmirtz. Oh god, it's so hot.
So Doofenshmirtz, what is your latest scheme to take over the tri-state area?
Well, I'll tell you. And can we turn some fans on? It's getting really hot in here. Oh, these wings. Oh god, I mean they're delicious, but my mouth's on fire. Oh god. Do I not get to plug my evil scheme if I take the drink of milk?
Unfortunately, yeah, go right ahead, drink the milk.
Oh, thank God. Oh. Just glugs it down. Do I get bread too? No, just the milk. Okay.
Oh god. Hot ones.
Oh, I wiped my face off the napkin. I wiped my hands. Oh god, it's in my eyes now. Ah.
Hot Ones is a great show, though.
It is. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so it's like, so what Doofenshmirtz is doing, he's plundering the lake for zinc.
Now, Jacob, what, pray tell, is our evil mastermind going to do with said zinc?
Well, if only I knew, Dragon, then the reason I don't know is because he doesn't know.
The possibilities are endless, however, endlessly good.
He has a lot of good ideas, like some zinc-inator or big laundry.
Yeah, that's Ray-inator or his big laundry, which he has no idea what the big laundry is about.
Like, funnily enough, in a later episode, he actually remembers what big laundry is.
You mean big laundry isn't just what we see at the end here?
No, remember that big laundry thing I talked about earlier?
Cool.
Yeah, it's a rare bit of continuity in the second season.
All right, let's back.
The thing is, you'll notice, like, remember how, like, in the first season, there was, like, a lot of callbacks to, like, previous, like, episodes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Once they realized that Disney was really airing the episodes out of order, they kind of lowered it a little bit, and instead of like doing it for previous episodes within this season, only like really referenced previous season stuff. Like when they realized, like, hey, they're airing this stuff out of order.
Yeah. I
don't know why Disney does that, but that's how they do it. But as you were saying.
Yeah, so let's check back in with Candace. You know, she's doing her lifeguard thing, and she's got the lake monster on her brain. So she sees some driftwood, and it's full on Jaws panic.
Like she's like screaming into like the bullhorn, like screaming at a duck.
Okay, here's something with the animation though. It's like Candace, they pushed her. We're doing like the ugly face Candace when she's like yelling at the dog, like get out. You know, it's like there's like the gnarled teeth and everything.
Like the animation gets a little more expressive as the series.
That's the thing. That was the big animation catch I had this episode. Okay, we're going for like the full push with Candace, which we did a little bit of last season, but they're going full tilt at the top here. Like, wow.
Like overall, the animation quality improves as the series goes on.
Yeah,
it becomes a lot more fluid and dynamic.
I don't know how I feel about pushing Candace that far, but I think I'm just not used to it yet.
I mean, I don't think they push her that far. Like, I think they're just like doing it for that specific scene.
Right. I don't know. We'll track that, Jacob. I keep an eye on that if I were you.
All right. But I said overall, you probably noticed like the more dynamic camera movements and everything as well. Like
there was one really great camera move in this that we'll get to in a second. But yeah, I think
So it's like I think they got more confident in the animation abilities and everything, or maybe they got a better budget for it. I'm not sure.
Anyway, so I was like, leave your child.
So leave your child, go to Canada.
No, not yet. That's later.
I know, but it was just too funny not to mention.
No, you're right. We're gonna break. I want to unpack that whole gig. I love that so much. We're gonna get there.
Like they really let Ashley Tisdale go nuts on these rants.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious.
Always. Okay, so let's see.
And of course, that was not okay.
So eventually, that guy keeps giving her chances, and then there's one perplexing scene I don't agree with here, where after Buford and Bell cheat, have their attempt.
It's like when they tried to spook everybody.
Yeah.
It's like I thought you said that'd be funny. It was funny. You got in trouble.
Yeah, Buford was in rare form this episode.
It's like it works on multiple levels.
Yeah. So anyway, after the boss man lets Candace don't see her, the lake monster's not real. It's a tourist trap. It's literally we're going with the full jaws here, but only we're capitalizing on the panic.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's what bothers me. At the end of that joke, I don't know if this is a mistake, and I was hoping you might have had some backstory on this one, but I don't know if it was like a mistake of the animation or it was just cut somehow or what, because Candace just randomly, like nothing prompting her, like even though later on it sounds like she saw the lake monster for a bit, but we don't see it in the episode. I kept rewinding it to see if I missed something. She just says, I don't want a lake monster. Said, well, what? That gag doesn't track for me at all.
I think it was just meant to be like, she was just told it wasn't there, and then suddenly she sees it as, like the classic gag like that.
That's the thing, that we didn't see what she saw, or at least the fake thing that she saw. We just randomly, literally, he said, okay, are we on the same page? Yeah, I guess we're on the same page. Oh, lake monster, but nothing prompting it.
I think it was just meant to be like a random gag.
Didn't play for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
No. Okay. Let's see. So, I guess talking about it, so that we kind of mentioned the second frigate. So again, with the Baljeet scare, Candace, when she evacs the place, there's this little girl, and I love how she's having like a nice little moment with the little girl. Like, oh, hey, little sweetie, it's gonna be okay. And then she's the lake monster, and like everyone, oh, and then basically we have this thing. It's a great camera move where like it's getting intense. And I love how we ratchet up the intensity of this moment where Candace. Oh God! She just says, "Okay, listen, go that way. Follow train tracks north. You're gonna follow the train tracks north. Hitch a ride. You're gonna you go to oh God, I'm blanking on what the place was. Go. Jacob, do you remember the specifics?
Let's see.
So remember, you're gonna go to a college town. It's a college town. You're gonna save up. And you're gonna buy a ticket to the Canadian border.
Canadian border. Let's see where. You gotta read it. Quick kid, I found it. Quick kid, run as fast as your little legs can carry you. Follow the train tracks north. You should hit Ackerton by sundown. Blend in. It's a college town. Get a retail does save up enough for a bus ticket to the Canadian border. Someone will get in touch with you when the coast is clear.
So I love the intensity. I love how it's direct. I love everything about that. Where it's like she's ratcheting up. The little girl is like nodding her head very invested. Like, okay, lady, tell me everything. And the camera pushing of like, okay, she's getting more intense with each like little like piece of instruction here. And Jeremy's like, Candace,
Yeah.
It's just so I love that Jeremy's like, oh man, Candace has problems, man.
Yeah, she has problems, all right. She's just trying to be a good lifeguard. It almost kind of reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob. The Sponge Guard on Duty episode.
A little bit, yeah. Well, speaking of which, cramps.
What?
Cramps.
Oh yeah, cramps. Like, that's just a myth. It's just a play to sell our kids with cramped snow globes.
Just the kids with cramps. Here's the thing with cramps. He's not even like waist deep in the water.
And cramps, like those kind of things don't really. Aren't those actually a myth in reality too?
No, I think the cramp thing's real.
I mean, they're not as like debilitating as like they're. I don't think they're as debilitating as.
Well, it's not so much debilitating. It was just ill-timed. Like if you have a cramp while you're swimming, it's going to be you might be paralyzed on a side. Well, not paralyzed, but you might be. It'll be distracting while you're trying to swim. So it's ill-advised.
All it does is remind me of a series of unfortunate events in the Lake Lachrymose leeches.
Yeah, well, that one's a little more lethal, but
Well, obviously.
I was thinking more so as it reminds me of Patrick. Butt cramps.
Yeah, and I just basically love the entire scene before that too, where she's like where the kid's hitting her with the beach ball, and the kid's like, no, you're supposed to bury everything except the head.
Yeah, we have remember when we set up all these beach goers that when Candace is left to her own devices, you have someone, I brought glass for the beach.
And it's just like, oh god.
I'm really convinced that Dan and Swampy had like a summer where they were lifeguards or something, where something like this happened. That feels like a very authentic gag. Whoever wrote the episode, again, can you remind me who?
Well, the writers, I think the writers for this were John Colton Berry and Piero Peluso.
I think one of those guys had this experience.
Yeah, that or someone on staff did.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think probably, I don't know, like, we do not drink out of the lake. That goes for your children too, sir. And the guy with the giant straw drinking out of the lake.
Yep.
It's like, why would, like, that's nasty. As someone who's accidentally drank ocean water, it's just nasty.
Yep.
Ugh. I once went to the beach, drank ocean water out of curiosity, and I instantly regretted it. I was young, Dragon, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm serious. I wasn't even like 10 years old.
Now I'm just thinking of the gag from El Dorado. It's like, you drank the seawater, didn't you?
Yes, Dragon, I drank the seawater. Literally in this case. But I've never done it since.
Sure.
Dragon, I haven't been to the ocean for quite a long time.
Oh, yeah, I believe you. Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So either way, we need to get back to the boys.
Yeah, so what are the boys up to, Jacob?
It's like, so at first they're just listening to a story that's being told by their dad, by Lawrence. It's like, and they said if I ignored it, went away, which it did after 17 weeks. Like, wow, even Phineas was bored by that.
So they go down this tube, which leads them to, I forget what the name of this thing, because it's kind of like an undersea oil derrick of sorts. It's not an actual, it's like a substation. I don't know what you call this place. It's like where people do like marine biology kind of stuff.
It's like an underwater lab kind of thing.
I guess that's, I don't know, I could have sworn there was like a name for it, but yeah, an underwater lab.
I don't think there's a name for that. I know their drone thing is called Marco Schnarzolo, but
no, there's a name for this sort of place, but I'm just like, it's like for like what in the movie The Meg, for example, they have a place like this. I don't know what the heck it's.
I don't know. I've never seen The Meg.
What I'm just saying as an example, like these kind of places do exist. It's like where people do like study undersea life, and they go into a base like this. But I just, anyway, points an undersea lab of some kind. Phineas and Ferb, they're looking for again the Schnazola.
Marco Schnazola. But that's like their underwater drone.
Yep, and the drone gets eaten. And
not only that, the rest of their cameras get knocked out too.
So we reveal the.
Well, first off, it follows a red herring.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting joke, I guess.
Yep.
And not only that, their cameras get knocked out, and then they lose power.
Yep.
Fortunately, though, they do have emergency power.
Yep, and then they fix it, and then they discover the lake nest monster.
It's like, did we?
Lake nose monster.
Did we find a lake nose monster? No, it found us. It definitely makes it out to be more foreboding than it turns out to be.
Yeah, so apparently Nosy just hates cameras, like values its privacy, but is quite it's quite friendly. Once the trust is proven, kind of How to Train Your Dragon style.
Yeah, it's kind of relatable. I mean, not everybody, like there are quite a few people out there that just want to enjoy peace and quiet, enjoy their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, plus Nosy himself is like. I think he's just like the fact that he has like this appealing design and personality that like he doesn't even say a word or barely even make any noises, but you know exactly what's going on with him.
Yeah.
And I always find those things kind of appealing. And as you mentioned, that actually is kind of similar to How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. So we have this delightful bonding montage between the boys and the monster.
Yeah, where they do all various different kinds of activities, like obviously like synchronized swimming, like he shoots them out of his nose.
Yep, they're playing chess.
And it seems like Nosy isn't a very dexterous chess player.
I'm sorry, are you a chess strategist?
No, but I'm just saying he's not very dexterous. It's like he just slams his pieces.
It's all part of it. It's part of the long game, Jacob. I mean, wake up. Come on.
Okay, Dragon. Okay, I've never seen the Queen's Gambit. All right, Dragon.
Nah.
Have you seen that show?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so I'm not a chess expert like you are.
Yes, you see what happens is you walk in there, you slam both hands on the table, and wherever it knocks down, that's your opening move. That's how it works. That's how the extras. That's how the Bobby Fishers of the world play.
It's like, what do you know? This show is ahead of its time. As I keep saying, this show is ahead of its time.
Yeah. Anyway,
even though technically that's based on a true story that probably happened before this show came out. Isn't that based on a true story?
I don't believe so.
Or is it based on a book?
I think Queen's Gambit's based on it's either based on a book or it's original. I think it's based on a book.
All right.
I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Queen's Gambit just kind of took the world by storm. I think it was based on a book.
All right, that makes sense.
Regardless, it's kind of influenced by real chess stuff, but it's not really an adaptation of any one story. It's just because I think there are like real chess players named.
I could have sworn it was based on a true story.
I mean, I guess I'm saying I think they drew influence from certain things, like the whole Russia thing.
Oh, all right, that makes sense.
But anyway, yeah, Bobby Fischer though. I mean, you've seen? Have you ever seen Pawn Sacrifice?
No.
That's pretty good. Tobey Maguire plays Bobby Fischer.
Nice.
Liev Schreiber plays Spassky.
A couple Spider-Man connections.
Yeah. Peter Parker versus Kingpin.
Nice. Kind of poetic in a way.
Yeah.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah.
Now, was that before or after he was in Spider-Verse?
It's before.
So
like 2015. So it was before that, but after Sabretooth.
So he wasn't Kingpin yet, but he was going to be Kingpin.
That's true. Yeah.
Got it. It's like so. And a delightful montage, and of course featuring this lovely scene we chose as the thumbnail, and like doing a little vaudeville dance routine.
Little vaudeville or kind of young Frankenstein sort of like
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's exactly putting on the Ritz, Dragon.
No, it's not. I'm just saying they're borrowing from vaudeville and that, and this is kind of vaudeville. It has a monster, and I don't know. It's just kind of delightful.
I know. I mean, I'm not denying it. I mean, reference Young Frankenstein all you want. I love that movie.
We all do. Well, not all of us, but most of us do.
Who doesn't love Young Frankenstein?
Well, not someone we've had on. Apparently, one of our colleagues at Geekvolution, DJ Martinez, Martinez. DJ does not care for Young Frankenstein at all.
And that's all right then.
I believe he likes Willy Wonka though, so I think it kind of balances out the Gene Wilder love. But I don't know.
Does he like Blazing Saddles?
That's the thing. I don't think he goes for. Honestly, I think it's just kind of a thing where he doesn't go for Mel Brooks.
Oh, that's a shame.
That's so. Hence the whole. I think it's why he doesn't like Young Frankenstein.
It's a shame, really, because
yeah, I don't know, he's got a really good movie. But here's his. If you ever, he has like a huge collection of Criterion movies and stuff. So DJ has very I guess cultured taste would be one where I'm not saying that Mel Brooks is uncultured. I don't know. He's got a thing where I just feel like Mel Brooks humor is just not his thing.
I mean, it doesn't have to be everybody's thing, but still.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so the point being, the boys, Buford and Baljeet call, and then they explain to Nosy.
It's like, is your refrigerator running?
We don't have a refrigerator, Baljeet.
Then you better go catch it.
How is that funny? Oh, it's hilarious.
It's like, it's funny. You look stupid.
Yeah, that's a perfect Buford bit right there.
It works on so many levels.
It's a harmless prank too. Outside of Baljeet's self-esteem, it's actually quite harmless.
Yeah. So the boys then explain a video call, in which essentially works similar to a camera, and then Nosy gets very upset and leaves.
Which was sad.
I know. I was like, no, gee, don't Nosy, don't do it, no.
You feel bad for the poor monster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the boys track him down to make amends, and knows he's not feeling well. Why?
Because Nosy survives by absorbing the zinc in the lake. And
Who's sucking out all the zinc right now?
Doofenshmirtz.
Bum bum bum. Doofenshmirtz actually doing something secretly evil.
He's doing severe ecological harm.
Yeah. He's bleaching the reefs, man.
Well, he's like unzinking the reefs.
He's unsinking the reefs, man.
Yep.
He must be stopped.
But fortunately, in a case of Chekhov's gun, they have the sunscreen that was provided to them earlier, and they use that to help restore Nosy.
Yeah, give him a little creamy spinach.
Yeah. Yep. Basically, all Popeyed up.
Yep, and then the boys are in dire peril. Again, I love just by coincidence here, they're about to be they're chopped into pieces by the zinc, kind of the zinc harvesting part of Doofenshmirtz's sub, and Nosy sees this, and Nosy will not let his little buddies be harmed. He goes the full skipper here.
Oh yeah, it's actually pretty impressive. And of course that sets off a whole nother chain reaction inside the Zinc-inator as well.
Yep.
It sets Perry free. He's like, you were trying to break free? As I was talking to you?
I share my wings with you.
Well, to be fair, I did trap you like a monkey.
Yep, and then how does Perry escape, Jacob?
He uses the plumbing.
Yep. And Doofenshmirtz tries the same, but no luck.
That's in the end credits.
Yeah.
Yep. He tries the same luck. He's like, now I need to do my laundry.
Yeah. Okay. So Candace saves Captain Weber, who has a cramp.
After eating some wings.
Yep. Not just any wings, Jacob. Lulu's wings.
Best wings in town, as he calls them.
Yeah.
And he mentions that the whole 30 minutes at the 80s thing's just a myth to sell these snow globes. I mean, those are some very specific snow globes.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon, would you want a snow globe of a kid cramping in a lake?
No.
That's probably a good thing.
No,
it'd probably be a good it'd probably be a good conversation starter, but outside of that, it'd be like, okay, what's with this weirdo?
Yep.
It's so even wading out into shallow, shin-high water, he starts to cramp.
Yep.
While the boat that basically Nosy and the Zinc-inator sent careening is basically zooming right towards him. So, unfortunately, Candace does get him out of the way in time. Meanwhile, Lawrence is still going on his story about Big Mouth Ramon. Oh, God.
Yep.
So, what next, Dragon?
All right, let's see. So I guess to wrap things up, Candace gets her job back. Okay.
I don't get it.
And then we have a nice moment here where Candace, she kind of determines that the boys, they were successful in finding the lake nose monster, which would have really bailed her out of a lot of stuff there. But then she realizes oh no, the boys are protecting the lake monster. I should do the same, despite her finding the proof. And I love how we animate the sad version of Phineas and Ferb.
And at first they're like, they have the sad faces, but then, well, you guys are trying to protect him, aren't you? And then they're suddenly smiling.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, it was nice.
So then Candace does the right thing. It was a moment where it's like, you know what? And honestly, this for me is probably my favorite bit of the Candace stuff. And for our top of season 2 here, I wonder if it's going to translate for the rest of it. Giving Candace some, you know what? Candace doing some stand-up stuff right here. Candace is like, this is the right thing to do. I know it's going to make me look like a crazy person, but you know what? I'm gonna protect the lake nose monster. It's the right thing to do, and she does, and she gets a big old swack right on the cheek from Lake Nose Monster for being a good person.
Great, look who finally showed up.
I love this. And like those ones he kisses her and she says, fine.
It's like instead of the thumbs up from Poppy, it's the swag from the Lake Nose Monster.
Yep. It's a kiss from Nosy. It's a kiss on the Nosy.
And Nosy can finally go back to living in Lake Nose in peace.
Yeah, it all worked out. And Doofenshmirtz is having plumbing trouble. And he realizes that big laundry, at least at this juncture, is just a big pile of laundry he did not do yet.
It's like, all right, it's Tuesday. I can get out the same repair the platypus did. And then obviously that doesn't work as intended because he doesn't have the same proportions that Perry does.
Yep.
He can't squeeze through the pipes the same way. Although we know he gets out just fine. Or funnily enough, he has some issues with he has another toilet related problems in the next episode too.
Doofenshmirtz really needs a plumber.
Funny you should mention that.
Oh boy.
It's not in this episode, but
Okay.
it's not in this episode or the next episode, but there is an upcoming episode where he does call a plumber.
Is it going to be an evil plumber?
It's going to be a platypus plumber.
Oh, God. Oh, gee, I wonder who it could be.
He doesn't know who it is.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
All right, Code Geass says, Candace once again proves that she's the true hero of the series. Well, Season 2 might prove that.
Well, I mean, she doesn't really do a lot of this selfless stuff as she did here in the rest of the... not as often as she does in this. She still mainly, sticks to busting the boys and everything, but there are quite a few episodes in this season and episodes going forward where she tries to, step away from that, where she's not focused on getting them in trouble.
Okay.
So,
and that's it. That's the episode.
Yep. So, thank you, Code Geass and LEB, for tuning in once again, and thank you, Dragon, for going on this journey of rediscovery.
Yep.
It's me as we venture down the second season. I don't know when the next season's going to come out, and I don't know if anything that's going on in Hollywood right now is going to affect what's going on with the series. So, who knows? Without going into too many details. So,
Yeah.
So, we can enjoy this while we have it, while we wait for the next season. Fun comment, fun story though, Dragon. Like, I don't know if I told you this, but Olivia Olsen's actually joined the writing team for the next season.
Oh.
Yep, like the voice of Vanessa and everything. She's
Vanessa.
actually, yep, like she went from being just a voice actor, then working in the songs, to actually being part of the writing staff. I mean, I don't know, but I think a lot of the other writers are returning as well, so that's going to be a good sign. So I think that does it for this week. So thank you all for joining, and join us next week where the boys try and figure out what Perry the Platypus is saying, and then Doofenshmirtz is a superstar. Good night, everybody. Big laundry quadrant. It doesn't even sound like a word anymore.